Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Hi. Can I just get the team news, please, ahead of the game tomorrow?
Yes. Every player is available is available for the team tomorrow. Destiny is progressing, but it's too early for him to be involved in the squad.
So many positives from Wednesday. One negative was the awful abuse Matisse Tel received. How is the squad? But more importantly, first, how is Matisse?
Yeah, I think it's of course terrible what happened to Matti, and it's we're doing everything we can to support him in this situation. He's a strong person, and with hopefully his support from family and friends and us, that'll be he'll get through it. But also know there's no real Tottenham supporter that ever will do that. The real Tottenham supporters that we'll see tomorrow at the stadium, they'll back him, and I expect them to. It's in tough times we step up together, and I expect the fans to give him a really big cheer tomorrow.
Now, I'd never waste a question by naming names who don't play for Tottenham Hotspur, but obviously the transfer window still open.
But you still do it.
Yeah. Oh no names.
Okay.
No specific names. I think we're aware of the targets. But is that still you think sort of 2, 3, 4 over the next few weeks from what you've seen?
First and foremost, in many ways, I'm very happy with the squad. I think there's a lot of good players. I think we saw a team that was very competitive, and on any other day, we would have beaten the best team in Europe. Of course, we want as strong and competitive squad as possible. I know that Daniel, Johan, and Vina are working night and day. And they have, by the way, been working night and day the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, and they definitely would like to do deals early. Sometimes I think we need to understand it's not that easy, but they're working.
What's the latest with Yves Bissouma? He posted a picture of an empty training ground in the gym on the day of the final. Is there a way back for him, or do you think best for all concerned that he finds another club? Where are we with him?
Oh, Bissouma, there was a situation. I addressed this. There was a consequence. Bissouma will be in the squad tomorrow. Move forward, and we have a big game tomorrow. Thank you.
Morning. I want to kick off with Kudus. We've seen the glimpses of the great player he is in white, defending as well as he is going forward. But we've also seen him play everywhere, second striker, right wing, 10, 8 in his career. With your midfield injuries, would you play him centrally as a 10 consistently, or you prefer him in the wider areas?
I think depending on the game, the challenge, the game plan and so on, he can play in all those positions you just named there. So I think preferably he's probably right wing 10, can play both positions. But I like flexible players that gives us opportunities. But those are the two main positions.
Your Burnley kicks off tomorrow your Premier League campaign at home. Their defensive structure, normally 5 at the back, individually man marking, doubling up on attackers. What sort of tactical battle do you actually expect? In some ways, the challenge can be more different from the challenge we just faced 2 days ago against PSG. But I think the level of challenge is the same. It's just different from not that much expectation. Maybe slightly more expectations tomorrow for the game. But against a team and a very good manager and coaching staff that have done very well last year. We all know their defensive record. That's insane. 29 clean sheets, 16 goals conceded. I know they go a step up, but that just shows that the structure, the discipline, the mentality to ability to defend. So that's a challenge we need to embrace, and we will embrace. And we will be positive, and we will attack. But I think it's a game where I see a game picture where we will dominate, and it can take time before we score the first goal. Of course, we'd like to score it inside the first minute, and the roof will go off the stadium. Everyone will be happy, but you never know. You need to be ready for everything. And one thing is for sure, the team, all of us need to perform. The fans need to perform. We can only do it together. The fans and the team, if they are together, it's like energy, pushing the players forward. That will make it so much easier. We need help, of course.
What's the most important thing you've learned about your team so far? You're still very new to the role. You're still getting to know your players every day. But what's that one integral thing where you're like, yeah?
I would like to say two things. I know you only said one, so.
Take two.
Thank you. One thing is the mentality of the group. I think it's a very strong mentality. So we saw that against PSG. The way they dealt with that game, the way they worked, their approach to it. I think that was very good. And I think the ability to take on board messages and game plans because they executed it perfectly. That's the two things.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I want to know, have you got any butterflies in your stomach? Because this is the first time you're managing a Premier League team other than Brentford.
I will have tomorrow. I think if I'm honestly now, I'm like in a work mode. Last planning, we have a training in 3 hours, and all my focus on that, and that is, how can you say, normal with everything. It's different players, but it's the same. So fully focused on that. But I know when I wake up tomorrow, and I know when I step into to the pitch or into the stadium, that I will feel it, no doubt.
And you'll know what it's like to be the underdog, because with respect with Brentford, you were pretty much the underdog every time you played. So you'll know how Burnley will feel tomorrow. How difficult is that to take on a newly promoted team on the opening day when everyone expects sun out, hot day, you to win 4 or 5-0?
Yeah, I think I think every game has its own challenges, and the challenge tomorrow, of course, is that can we get enough tempo in the game? Can we play quick enough? How do we break down the low block of a 5-4-1? And that's, I think, again, that's that focus. Let's keep the tempo. Let's keep the intensity. Make sure we put pressure on them, and then in the end, that'll hopefully be enough.
You know me, I rarely ask you about transfers because I know what you're going to tell me. That the person I ask is not your player, but Eberechi Eze is a good player, and you might need a number 10 because obviously James Maddison is injured. Just tell us what kind of player you are looking for, and would someone like an Eze be that kind of player?
As I said, we are looking, of course, in the market, not only for 10 positions, but just to see if we can strengthen the squad. And the players we're looking is the only players we think can improve the squad, and I think that's the right thing we want to do. If we can pick the right player and it fits, then we'll do something.
Ali,
welcome.
Hi there, Thomas. You said out in Italy that you were going to deal with the Bissouma situation when you got back. You wanted to focus on the game. Can I just ask, did you have a long chat with him? Because obviously with Bissouma, there's been incidents over previous summers as well, and then obviously he's 29 this month. He's maybe one of those players that the younger players should be looking to. I just wondered kind of how you dealt with that in that respect.
Of course, we dealt with the situation. I think these situations you deal with internally, of course. So yeah, it's dealt with. I'm looking forward. There's a big game tomorrow, and that's where the main focus should be on.
Another one of your kind of more influential players, Richarlison. It felt like probably one of his best games for Spurs the other night. I mean, how important could he be to you this season if you can keep him fit and available to play like that?
Yeah, I think Richie was really phenomenal. I think his hold-up play, his intensity, his pressing, his arriving in the box, and so it was really top. And his attitude top. Yeah, I hope to see more of that. Of course, we're aware of the fitness situation. That's something we've monitored closely. That's why, for example, he didn't play the first friendly, I think, against Reading, because we didn't feel that he was ready. So we'll really do our best to help him, and he's on it. He's very focused. That's the main thing, and hopefully he can keep up the level.
Just a very quick last one on one player we haven't heard too much about, Manor Solomon. Where is he kind of in his injury recovery, and also is he part of your plans for this season?
Every player that's here is part of the plans. Manor is just back from his injury in terms of being on the pitch. He had a part training with the team
yesterday. So hopefully he can progress after that.
Hi, Thomas. When you think of day one, when you came in to now, are you where you want to be generally? Are you ahead of schedule, behind schedule, on schedule?
I think we are. That's a good question. I think that will be an ongoing. How can you say? Yeah, process throughout the season. Throughout seasons, because you constantly want to build and add layers. That's what I'm a big believer of. We had what 5 weeks or something like that. That's been really good. I think I'm very pleased with and proud of what how the team performed Wednesday against PSG. I think that part of the game we showed that we got far with the defensive side of the game, high pressure, middle pressure, low pressure, set pieces, aggressivity, intensity, mentality. And now we have another part of the game. We'll be more offensively, of course, tomorrow. We have to and we want to. That's probably completely honest. That's the area where we are probably not up fully firing yet, for various reasons. We will have a plan and we'll be very ready for it tomorrow. But I think all that added together, that to do that consistently every game, probably that will not just be fully firing. Hopefully tomorrow will be very good, and then there can be the next 3 games, then can be a dip, and then we go again.
It was obviously a big ask on Wednesday night, physically and emotionally. It was a hot night in Italy, wasn't it? I mean, do you think they're ready to go again, that same team, a few days later, or are you going to have to sort of freshen up a bit?
I think, of course, physical demands, the physical demands in every area were big, as you say, also mentally in the heat and so on. The players are very, very professional. They've recovered well. We've got a good team behind them, staff behind them that will help them. Of course, as always in these situations, how much do I fresh up? That's, of course, I'm thinking about that. But that can be from the start. That can also be during the game. I'm a big believer of, when needed, use 5 subs to bring that energy and freshness on the pitch. But I'm also a big believer it's the third game that is more tricky than the second game.
And just one on Bissouma, if I can. Was it just important for you to establish the standards that you want here early on, rather than allow that situation to sort of develop, if you like?
Yeah, you can say that, but I've done exactly the same in Brentford or the other places where I've worked before. I have certain standards and demands, and as I think I said, I think the players need. I mean that a lot of love. There need to be a lot of demands, and sometimes there also need there also need to be consequence if the demands are not reached. And in this case, there was a consequence.
Finish with George, please.
Hi, Thomas. You've had a lot to get through this summer work-wise. A lot of young players, especially academy players, have gone out on loan. We saw Mikey Moore and Will Lancashire kind of part of the first team last season. What's kind of the thinking behind those guys and others kind of going out and getting the minutes?
I think it's important is that fine balance between. I think there's a lot of learning training with the first team boys here and the level, and I think that learning from the intensity, physicality, professional, higher level players is very good, and also part of having enough players in the squad. And then the next bit is how do they. The most important thing for any player is playing minutes. So it's that balance, and we thought it was the right moment to get them out on loan.
And just getting back to Wednesday, clearly needed fresher legs. Just kind of with the subs, obviously last season, Lucas Bergvall played so much, and Brennan Johnson obviously was top goal scorer. Was kind of there a reason that those guys weren't kind of the first options coming off the bench? Was it sort of
Brennan and
Lucas?
And Lucas. I think it was a slightly different shape. That impacted it a little bit. Let's say for Brennan's case, of course he can play one of 2 strikers as well. I think Matthew has done well. So we're going to need a lot of players in different positions with different abilities. I think that Lucas done very well, but also think I like Archie as well. I think they're slightly different types. Lucas is probably a little bit more offensive, Archie a little bit more defensive. So that's why that stage when he came on, I think Archie's profile just fit a little bit better.
And just finally, you've been at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium plenty of times, but not as the Tottenham manager. How much are you looking forward tomorrow to walking out and experiencing that for the first time?
Oh, that's going to be special, of course. It's a first time for everything, and that'll be the first time, so that'll be special.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and move on to the embargoed section.